I'd love to move on to the recent controversies that's surrounded you. So you had a YouTube channel called The Purpose, basically saying that pedophilia is acceptable, zoophilia is acceptable, and incest is acceptable. Can you explain a bit of that? That seems pretty ungodly.
Okay, so first off, we want to be
Just before he explains it, this guy's
Do you
fucking
know what?
smiling like a Cheshire cat
I
as
was
the guy
gonna,
says that.
I was going to pause it as well. Like, just the facial expressions he keeps putting are really strange and not normal. And it's like, I definitely think stuff like that should just show that someone is not the full ticket.
Yeah, he's clocked out.
His smile is different.
It's scary. It's what
It's
it
very
is.
creepy. It's not like a normal smile of you smile when you're talking to someone. It's more so like he's forcing this. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, he makes me uncomfortable. He
Very,
really,
very, very,
really makes
yeah.
me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's still on YouTube. He's still on YouTube.
This guy actually needs to be locked up. I'm
He
being
does.
serious.
He does. I haven't even seen this video yet. This was sent to me because of the video we did previously. So we're going to see the madness that he says now.
absolutely clear about the definitions. Now, I am fully aware that pedophilia has actually gone through an evolution of definition over time. Now, the original Greek and Roman definitions of pedophilia actually lauds and celebrates pedophilia. So it's essentially something like a child lover or you're child friendly. And that is the original definition of pedophilia. The other definitions that you can find, like for example on Google, is actually having a sexual attraction to children. So that is actually
Right.
not denoting anything negative at all. It's just saying sexual attraction.
That's not denoting anything negative at all. Sexual attraction to children.
Absolutely not. So you can look up what sexual means as
Can
well.
can you explain that? Because it is actually extremely harmful.
He seems a bit like a robot. Like he doesn't seem real.
It's because he's soulless. That's why. Because he thinks having a sexual attraction to a minor is okay. And now he's referencing something. I don't even know if what he's saying is true or not. Whether it is or not, we have moved past that. In a modern society, we understand that it's wrong for an adult to be with a child. Because as time goes on, not with all things, but generally, people tend to get smart to things. And they're like, okay, this isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this. And I'm sure that is what's happened if what he's saying is true. If they would applaud it and praise it and just treat it like it was normal, then we've moved past that point. Pretty much everyone agrees that adult-child relationships are wrong and the adults deserve to go to prison. If the word did go through an evolution, it went through it for a very good reason.
Yeah.
Towards children to have any kind of sexual acts toward them.
So by definition, that is actually incorrect. And you can actually look up what sexual means, which is so
I've got
beautiful.
the definition here. It says the definition of sexual is relating to the activity of sex.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that's Cambridge Dictionary.
Wonderful. Okay, relating to the definition of sex, do you have the definition of sex?
The activity of sex.
Absolutely.
But I mean, again, I think you, and I've seen in some of your other videos, you seem to really, really focus and hone in on like dictionary definitions. I mean,
Absolutely.
we can be really real here, and we both
Yes.
know what we're talking about when we talk about sex. You know,
Absolutely.
penetration, masturbation, things of that nature that adults do, not children.
Enjoying food together, having any interaction.
No. Not intimacy, not connection. We're talking about sex here. It's exactly what you're condoning and what you're not condoning.
Okay, so what I'm
when
condoning...
when everyone in the world uses the word pedophilia and we use the word sex, we know exactly what we mean. We don't need to, bring up all these old definitions, because that's not at all what anyone's talking about. You may have found a definition that says that, and I feel like often when you talk about this, you get very vague on purpose, and I would like to get very specific as to what exactly you mean.
Okay, so I have been perfectly specific, and for one thing, your statement is actually false. Not
Which
all
part?
that all people actually view pedophilia with the same definition.
I'm talking about sex with children. Do you think that's okay?
So what I advocate for is that anyone and everyone of every age and any species can make whatever loving choices they want with whoever wants to make those choices with them, so long as they're harm-free and they have my loving support. And that is God's law universally.
That's pretty fucked up, dude. That's pretty fucked up. Really.
So fucked up in what definition? You mean negative or positive?
Negative. You seem to be focusing on...
What fucking planet did this guy come from? Because it's clearly not Earth.
He just keeps going back to this same point of essentially saying if the kids are consenting to it, it's fine, but
children can't consent.
Exactly. And
it's hard to even put this into words.
But do we even need to put it into words? Because anyone who's watching this and agreeing with him is just not all right in the head, because any normal sane person will all just be thinking the same thing.
Well, I mean, clearly someone at YouTube is not sane, because this guy keeps on coming back on here. And clearly somebody that is working in the FBI keeps on turning a blind eye. Like, what the hell is going on?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how this guy's not even afraid to walk down the street.
For real, he's just open with it. Most pedos, they're not open with it. They do it behind closed doors. They know it's wrong. They hide in the shadows. They understand that even though what they're about to do is horrific, that it's not something that they're going to openly tell people because they know exactly what's going to happen. This guy is so delusional. He thinks he's a god, and he is openly admitting to harming children and advocating for the harm of children. He's saying any person of any age, that could literally mean fresh out of the womb, any animal, anything, as long as they have been, well, in children's cases, they would be tricked into thinking it's a loving relationship, and animals can't consent because we can't fucking understand them. And even if we could, they're a different species, so you shouldn't be sleeping with them. For whatever reason, this guy seems to think it's all acceptable. I don't know how he got there, how his parents failed him in his upbringing, or what kind of horrific shit he was put through to think this, or if he was literally just born with a screw loose. I'm willing to bet this guy's born with a screw loose. Like, not everything was matching up when God was putting them together. And now we've got this monster running around on YouTube admitting to sex crimes, saying that he's had loving relationships with children before, and yet here he is. Usually I would agree with most people in saying, why are you even showing this? He's still not here. He's still here. He hasn't been locked up. He should be in prison. This guy should be in prison. It's actually mad, the amount of people that have been banned on YouTube for such stupid things.
That's what I'm saying.
And this guy is still here.
There's so many things out there. You come across so many videos online of the people who are catching out the predators and stuff, and how this guy, like we're saying, is so open, yet not one single person is taking action.
Yeah, and
it's bizarre.
The argument that he's not big enough on YouTube no longer stands, because enough people know about him now. Enough people have seen this guy on YouTube, so his YouTube platforms might not be the size of Andrew Tate's, but it doesn't matter. What he's saying is so insane that the size of the channel does not matter.
Yeah.
Like, at what point does YouTube turn around and go, this guy needs to go right now? He needs to go right now. And the authorities need to get involved. What does he have to say? Does he have to, like, tell everyone that he's going to go and actively do it in the moment?
It's like his behavior is being condoned, but also as well, I don't even think shit like this should be happening where someone wants to interview him and see where his mind's taking him. It should be straight up just fucking throw the guy in prison.
I would agree with you, but the problem is that they're not throwing him in prison. And so this guy that is interviewing him is actually doing us all a favor, because this moron is openly telling us what he plans on doing in the future. He's openly telling us what he believes in and what he advocates for.
Yeah, but it's just giving him more attention and fame and opening. It's just...
I hear your point. I get it. Like, more people are going to be seeing him, and he might get his message across to the wrong people.
It's not even just that. It's just you're giving these people what they want, essentially, and you're feeding it more.
That's what we're doing. But the reason that we're watching this video is because the police are not taking action. And so behind closed doors, or in this guy's day-to-day life, he's going to harm a child. And if no one's going to take action, it's going to take YouTubers showing us who this guy is for us to react to, for him to be on channels that are bigger than ours as well. For somebody at the authorities to wake up and be like, we need to do something before someone gets harmed. At the very least, if he hasn't actually done anything himself, which I think he already has, because he's already admitted to having relationships with minors, which we covered in the other video. At the very least, if he hadn't done anything but he was saying these things, at least put him on an FBI watch list. At least monitor him. Maybe they are and we don't know. But something has to be done. This guy is openly telling people what he's basically going to do and how he sees the world.
Negative. You seem to be focusing on just the positive aspects of love.
That's because I am being positive.
So surely you must know how much trauma and horrific things people have to live with who have gone through sexual abuse from a family member, from someone close to them. And I've seen in past videos you say so long as it's consensual. We both know that a 5-year-old can't consent to a sexual
a 5-year-old makes their own choices. And your definition is very different when you actually change the words to abuse. I have never advocated for child abuse or any type of abuse like the abuse of animals in slaughterhouses.
So all the trauma that many people that even I know that an adult, by your framing of this, an adult engaged in the sexual activity with them, the behavioral problems they've got, the trust issues they've got, the crippling self-esteem issues they've got, the depression, the suicidal.
Problem here is that this Josiah guy focuses a lot on definitions, but he doesn't actually seem to understand what the words mean. It is abusive to have sexual relations with a 5-year-old. The problem here, Josiah, is you do not understand what the word means. For somebody that is so fixated on definitions, you don't seem to have a grasp on reality at all. You're talking about dictionary definitions and Britannica and all this other stuff, what's in the Oxford Dictionary, but you don't get what the word means. You don't get it. You have no grasp on reality whatsoever. If you think that a 5-year-old can consent, you're a moron and you're dangerous and you're a predator. There's no other way to put it.
By your framing of this, an adult engaged in the sexual activity with them, the behavioral problems they've got, the trust issues they've got, the crippling self-esteem issues they've got, the depression, the suicidal ideations, just the zero self-worth that came from that kind of sexual activities that was inflicted on them as a child when they could not consent because their brains aren't fully developed. Do you think that's all fine?
Absolutely not. So again, I do not advocate for any harm of anybody or any abuse of any life form at all. So of course, you'd have to contradict my word to actually say that I do.
Explain a situation where that could be a consensual positive experience for that child.
So there's many examples. So for one thing, you'd have to define what you're actually defining as a child. Now, many people in the United States... Okay, 5 years old, absolutely. Well, playing all kinds of things.
I'm just really confused as to why you feel the need to promote these kinds of things, why you think it's worth putting out there. I mean, can I ask, are you a pedophile?
Yes, I am, absolutely.
Have you engaged in sex with a minor?
By different definitions, yes. I've had sex with people that are under 18.
And definition, would that be a penis inside of one of their orifices?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm too old for this shit.
I mean, I have no words because the guy is just sitting there outright saying, yes, you know, he's admitting to being a pedophile. He's saying he has had sex with people under the age of 18. And yet, he's still just a free man walking.
We live in the upside down. The brave men and women that fought in World War II did not fight for this bullshit. This is mad. This guy's on YouTube. It's not like he's on some fringe platform that nobody knows about, talking on some forum. He's on YouTube. Essentially the biggest streaming service in the world.
Yeah, he is a big danger to society.
Yeah, he's
big danger.
Because he truly believes. See, the thing is that you get pedophiles and they know what they're doing is wrong, but they do it anyway. This guy doesn't know.
No.
I am fully convinced that he believes what he's saying.
Yeah.
He believes that he's a
100%, yeah.
messiah. He believes that he's a god in human form. I mean, Mizukami is not his real name. I don't believe that. His surname, as far as I'm aware, in Japanese means water god. Mizu is water, Kami is god, right? This guy has called himself Josiah Water God. Okay, he is completely delusional. And he is the worst kind of person and the most dangerous kind of person, because most people, like I said before, they will do something knowing it's wrong and they'll do it anyway, but they still know it's wrong. So that's why people steal when they run, or people, they commit some sort of violent act and they hide because they know what they've done is wrong. I guarantee you, if this guy did something like this, I mean, he's already openly admitted it, he would happily stroll down the road like nothing happened. And if someone questioned him, he'd be like, what do you mean? That's how far gone he's.
Yeah.
Like, he's completely gone.
Yeah.
He's not here. The lights are not on at home.
Yeah. Not
What's
at all.
that? What you say? He's not the full ticket.
Yeah.
He,
I've
this,
never heard that before.
I've only heard you say it.
Oh, wow.
I always hear people say he's one fry short of a Happy Meal. And that's what this guy is. This guy's every fry short.
It was beautiful and loving
And
and completely harm-free.
And you have a child?
I do have a son, yeah. Yeah,
Right,
he's
and
beautiful.
Has that happened to your child? Have you done that with
I
your
have
child?
never had intercourse with my child, no, and I have no desire to have intercourse with my child.
This motherfucker has a son. No, okay. This moron aside, who's the idiot? Let me just take that back for a second. This is probably not a fully grown woman that has birthed his child. It's probably another kid. I just deep that. I was about to rip into this imaginary grown woman, but this guy's a pedophile. He assaulted a child. I'm willing to bet. And I'm willing to bet the child gave birth to another child. This guy's got a kid. Oh my days. This has changed everything.
It's scary, man. It's actually so scary.
His kid needs to be like taken from him.
Yeah.
At
Otherwise, the kid's going to grow up really fucked up.
At the very least, if you ain't going to lock him up, you got to take the kid away from him. You have to. There's just no way. This guy's got a fucking kid. This guy's a father.
I have no words.
I'm lost. I'm so baffled.
And if a 65-year-old man went up to your child and asked if he could have sex with him, and your child said yes, sure, not knowing what it was, you would be absolutely fine with that?
Now, if they were to actually consent in making love, they love each other, they were to come to me and say, Josiah, right, you know, I love your son, and your son loves me, and we would love to have a relationship together. And they both agreed, of course, I would absolutely support it. And I would actually be committing...
How old is your son?
Well, he's 5 months old right now.
Wow. So you've just...
I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. This guy is ready to free up his 5-year-old son to an old man and support it.
65 years old.
You know when they say true, like pure evil doesn't exist in the world, like no one's pure evil. I think this proves otherwise.
You know when someone says they're genuinely speechless, I have no words.
I'm more surprised that YouTube haven't taken action, to be honest with you. Like, he's clearly mad. And I believe everything he's saying. I believe he believes everything he's saying. Every single thing that's come out of his mouth, this guy believes what he's saying.
Where's Ethan Klein when you need him?
Ethan Klein's a fucking saint compared to this guy. A saint. But yeah, I mean, it's surely like, you know, Ethan's always calling people. I mean, maybe he doesn't know about him. Maybe he doesn't. I ain't going to put that on Ethan. Ethan's an idiot and a joke, but this is another level. I don't think Ethan's pure evil. I don't even think Ethan's evil. I just think he's a bumbling moron.
Do you not think that someone like this deserves to be doxxed?
Deserves to be doxxed? No, we don't promote doxing here. Okay, the police need to do their job. That's what needs to happen here. The police need to do their job Okay, it doesn't take somebody on the internet to give out this guy's address for the police to do something or show up. I don't want any vigilante justice because that's just a slippery slope. Even if I feel like this guy deserves the worst, and trust me, I have no nice feelings towards this guy. If whatever happened to him, I wouldn't care, but I ain't going to put that information out there. But the police needs to do their job. They have to do, at the very least, take the kid away from him. He's going to free up his 5-year-old son to an old man. You think an old pedophile ain't watching this going, well, I'll just get in contact with this guy.
He's probably going to do it on purpose as well.
Yeah. And the one thing I don't believe him is I don't believe he has no desire to harm his own child either. I don't believe that. I think if you're that sick and twisted, I think he'll wake up in the morning and have a sick and twisted thought and be like, oh, yeah, it's God's wish. It's God's love.
Yeah.
I'm not harming them.
Makes him feel better about himself for all the bad stuff he's doing.
What a demented psychopath.
Committing.
How old is your son?
Well, he's 5 months old right now.
We went from 5 years to 5 months. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've been around children more. 5 months can't even speak properly, can they? He said, if a 65-year-old man came up to my son and said that he loved my son, and he's saying, previously he said, you can consent at all ages. He's saying that he's happy for a 65-year-old man to have consensual relations with his son of 5 months. Not that 5 years is any better, by the way. It really doesn't matter, but...
Yeah, but that's fucking bizarre. Like,
that's a baby. That is a baby.
That can't speak, so cannot give consent.
Jesus Christ, man. What an animal.
Wow. So you've just recently had your son taken away from you by authorities, haven't you?
So what happened actually is I did not have my son taken away from me. There were unfortunate people that mixed up their definitions, like you did earlier on this video.
The things that you're promoting sound, I fully support the authorities taking your child, because you don't seem like a very safe person to be raising a child.
So you're actually wrong, and you're incorrect, and you are actually blending and saying that the people are not responsible for their hateful mistakes. Loving.
Mine is that you've had sex with.
Yeah, for my choices, my side of it, which was beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay.
So again, I just want to help you out right now, because you have started to walk a path where you're actually guilty right now of charge.
Josiah, I think it's not really working out too well, this kind of what you're promoting. I mean, for you,
what I'm doing is perfect, actually. I've raised hundreds of millions of dollars in pledges. I have shared the answers to how the entire universe works, as well as the solutions to how to put an end to child abuse, like trying to push false beliefs that children do not make their own decisions, or that they cannot make good decisions.
It sounds to me like you are attempting to start a cult.
I don't need to attempt to start a cult. There are wonderful types of definitions of cult, like a type of devotion to a common cause. Something that's a law in the United States.
Here it goes.
This guy and his bloody definitions.
Here it goes.
Jesus Christ. This guy is, you know, when they say, you know, these people can be put through rehabilitation, I don't actually think rehabilitation will work on this guy. I actually don't think it will. I don't think the level of sanity matches his insanity. I think he's so insane that the only place that this guy is fit to be
is working for Balenciaga.
Okay, that's a good one, actually. No, we don't want to promote him getting a job there. We've got enough of them over there. The only place this guy is fit to be is somewhere like Arkham Asylum. Yeah. Being monitored by somebody like Batman. That is it. Every single time this guy like tries to break out, Batman's there to stop him, because there's no level of sane that matches this level of insanity. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's good that the authorities have taken his son away. I don't know if that's a permanent thing that they've done, but that's great. That's great to hear. At least the kid is safer away from him. Yeah, I know,
but why are they taking the son away, but they're not actually doing anything with him? Like, why is he still a free man?
I'm sure at some point he will be. The other thing is that he just said, I raised hundreds of millions in pledges. hundreds of millions. Let's just take this guy at his word, right? Because he doesn't come across to me like a liar. Like, he's saying what he believes to be true. Let's say that he actually did get 100 million in pledges. That might be even more worrying. That people pledged money to this guy. Hundreds of millions. Because for as much of a piece of shit as this guy is, I don't think he's telling us any lies in this video.
That's why he's still walking a free man, because there's
support.
so many people. Yeah, so many people sort of.
I can't verify if they've given him that money, but for as much of a piece of shit as he is, he doesn't strike me as the kind of person that even feels like he would need to lie about something. I mean, he's very open with the fact that he has slept with children, so he clearly doesn't feel the need to lie because he thinks he's a god. He literally thinks he's a water god because he's so deluded. So if I'm to believe him and take him at face value, hundreds of millions in donations, and he's happy to free up his son to an old man, and this guy's still walking about. He is basically a cult leader, and there's apparently legions of psychos that are following him as well. This is insane. This is more scary than any horror film you could watch, because this monster actually walks among us.
America.
All the horrific mental health conditions that people have to live with because adults like you have just used children to sexually gratify themselves.
That's a false assumption, and you're guilty of saying that.
On people's lives, the ripple effect that has on people's lives is beyond horrific, and I don't care what you claim is harmful. Seems like
you should care, otherwise you're hurting yourself.
Seems like you're focusing on a small part of that interaction.
You're contradicting yourself, saying you don't care, and then acting like you care.
Okay, well, to prove that I don't care, I'm going to wrap this one up, buddy, because I don't know what to say, mate. Thanks, Josiah. All the best. I hope authorities catch up with you soon. Bye.
I am the true authority with the gods with me, brother. That's why. Recognize how dangerous it is to perpetuate hell on earth.
Recording stopped.
All right. Well, I'm glad that I was here to help him recognize the truth, and obviously you could see that he even agreed that he is incorrect and lying to himself.
He's just definitely mentally insane, and he honestly needs help.
I don't think there's any help this guy can get. I think this is a lock him up and throw the key away situation. Keep that kid, that 5-month-old. Obviously, we pray that he did not do anything to them. They were taken away at a very early age, so they've still got a chance. You know, on the assumption that he didn't do anything to his child has still got a chance. Lock this guy up and throw him in prison. And anybody that is pledging money to him, like, pull your head out of your rectum. This is one of the stupidest. That is one of the stupidest things you can do. To think that having intercourse with a child is not harmful. What are you smoking? And how powerful is it?
But even towards the end of the video where he's saying, "Oh, I'm glad that I made him realize," and and it's like, no, that never happened.
Yeah, he's mad. He's delusional.
He's delusional. That's the correct word. That he is delusional. He does not know reality for what it actually is, and that's scary in itself. So from where he can't even understand what a grown man is saying, that's where someone like him is going to sit there and think a child's given him consent when in reality they're not.
It's crazy because, like, you have to believe that there's other people out there that think just like him, out there actually doing these crazy things, and they think that they're justified. They think that they're spreading God's love and God's message. Let me make it very clear to anyone at home that might think that this is okay. You're delusional. You have lost touch with reality, and you need to seek help. Now, I don't think Josiah can be helped, but I'm sure there's people out there that can still be saved from going down this dark path. Children cannot consent. 5-month-old babies can barely even speak. How can you consent if you can't speak? And how can you consent if you don't understand? Like, what planet are these people? I'm almost speechless. I don't know what else to say. That shit is crazy. The authorities have started in the right place, have taken his kid away, but the guy just openly admitted to being a pedophile. One of the worst things that you can do in your life is be a pedophile, because of not only taking advantage of somebody that is completely powerless to you, but the long-term ramifications that you set that kid down for the rest of their lives. A lot of the time you hear that children of sexual abuse or sexual assault turn into the abusers, right? Not all of them, but you hear that happens, right? The ones that are abused become the abusers. So you're just starting this like nasty cycle of abuse that some unborn child is one day going to have to deal with as well. The best thing to do is cut the head off the snake and just throw it in prison.
Yeah.
Just throw it in prison and let it rot there. Josiah does not deserve to be walking among us. You just throw his ass in prison and let him answer for his crimes. And make no mistake, those inmates are going to make him answer for his crimes. Because there's one thing that almost everyone agrees on, and it's not touching children.